Good morning everyone. Welcome to All Fours e-learning classes. This is Zoology subject. Chapter Endocrine System, that is Chemical Control and Coordination Integration. In this, now today we'll discuss the session number 11, Gonads. So, in the previous class we discussed the pancreas, that is the deficiency of the pancreas hormone, name it to be the insulin, there results in a disorder, an endocrine disorder, name it to be the diabetes mellitus. So there are two types of the diabetes we came across. One, that is pancreatic disorder, that is pancreas gland disorder, and one that of the hypothalamic disorder. The learning about the two, that is diabetes mellitus and diabetes insipidus, is important. Both are not belong to the same, but differentiation is what very important. Now we'll move on to the same summary. Diabetes mellitus and diabetes insipidus. Diabetes mellitus and diabetes insipidus. Diabetes mellitus is due to deficiency of insulin. It is due to deficiency of insulin. That is, it is the insulin. Generally the diabetes mellitus is characterized by excessive urination. Sugar levels, that is glucose, is excessively present in the blood, and that is reflected in the urination. So why this happened to be takes place? It is because of the deficiency of insulin. Insulin is a hypoglycemic hormone which converts the glucose into glycogen. That is, it encourages or promotes glycogenesis, thereby the glucose levels it reduces. So it is a hypoglycemic hormone. So deficiency of the insulin increases the glucose level, which is referred to be diabetes mellitus or hyperglycemia, increasing in the glucose level. Whereas diabetes insipidus is due to deficiency. It is due to deficiency of ADH, anti-diuretic hormone, or vasopressin, anti-diuretic hormone, that is vasopressin. And the second difference we find between the diabetes mellitus and the diabetes insipidus is, it is the pancreatic disorder. That is, insulin deficiency is nothing but thus it is the pancreatic disorder. It is a pancreatic disorder. Whereas this is the ADH is synthesized and secreted by hypothalamus. That is nucleus or neurosecretory cells of the hypothalamus. We discussed that paraventricular nucleus and supraoptic nucleus are present, which are said to be the hypothalamic neurosecretory cells or nucleus, which secretes the hormones called ADH or vasopressin and the oxytocin, which are directly released into the neurohypophysis via the hypothalamo-hypophyseal tracts. So, as it is due to the defect in the secretion of the hormone of the hypothalamus, so it is the hypothalamic disorder. Hypothalamic disorder it is. Hypothalamic disorder it is. Next, diabetes mellitus, which includes three polys. That is, it includes the polyuria, polydipsia and polyphagia. That is, it is characterized by excessive urination and excessive thirsty, excessive eating. Here it includes excessive urination. The symptoms include are excessive urination and dehydration. That is, what do you mean by this? That is, the ADH is responsible for reabsorption of water. As ADH deficiency, water reabsorption failed to take place, so water loss occurs, which is dehydration. So the ADH deficiency results in excessive loss of the water through the urine. Whereas here we see the glucose level, that is, in the urine, urine is with excessive glucose, whereas here urine is with excessive water. That is, generally urine composition per day 1 to 1.8 liters of the water is eliminated outside. That is, urine takes place per day in a normal status, but due to deficiency of ADH, 20 liters of water urinated. So that's what it is, tasteless insipidus. That's what a diabetes insipidus. Besides that, in diabetes mellitus, the ketonuria, in the sense excessive ketone bodies as well as the excessive cholesterol are present. The cholesterol and ketone bodies are present. Excessive ketone bodies is said to be the ketonuria, and also fat breakdown forming the cholesterol also excessively takes place. Such phenomenon does not occur in a diabetes insipidus. These are what are the primary differences between the diabetes mellitus and the diabetes insipidus. That is, it is deficiency of insulin. It is due to deficiency of ADH, antidiuretic hormone. It is a pancreatic disorder, whereas this is hypothalamic disorder. Since this hormone secretion from the hypothalamus, thus it is a hypothalamic disorder. It is the insulin beta cells of pancreas deficiency results in a diabetes mellitus. So it is pancreatic disorder. Polyuria, excessive urine and excessive eating, excessive thirsty is polydipsia, excessive eating is polyphagia, excessive urination polyuria. Three polys are the symptoms we came across under diabetes mellitus. Here excessive urination, large amount of the water takes place, that is leading to dehydration. Here urine is with the excessive glucose is with the more eliminated as its levels increases, where the glucose is failed to convert it into glycogen. Here urine is with excessive water. And the ketone accumulation, we discussed that glycosuria, ketonuria are the indicatives of diabetes mellitus. But here, here ketone bodies increased, cholesterol also increased. Such phenomenon does not take place in the diabetes insipidus. So this is the differences between diabetes mellitus and diabetes insipidus. During particularly in entrance examination, similar terms make us to commit mistakes. That is overcome by complete description, comprehensive knowledge of the relative topics. That's what the diabetes mellitus and the diabetes insipidus. Next, we'll move on to the gonads. Gonads are also in the endocrine system. We do discuss the main endocrine glands and the accessory endocrine glands. That is the endocrine glands of hormonal secretion only. Endocrine glands of hormonal secretion only, and other with besides the hormone secretion do have other functions is also observed. So now we'll see gonads. Gonads. Gonads are also acting as endocrine gland. They are said to be the mesodermal in origin. Every endocrine gland has a certain the origin from the primary germinal layer, so it is mesodermal. And gonads include testis as well as ovary. Testis and ovary are said to be the gonads. These are also said to be the cytogenic organs. In the sense, testis is synthesizing the sperms, male gamete cells, ovary, ova. So this is the main function related to that of the reproductive system. But as a part of endocrine gland, testis secretes male reproductive hormone, name it to be the testosterone, and the ovary secretes estrogens. In general, the testis male reproductive hormones are said to be the androgens. They are referred to as the principal androgen is being the testosterone, whereas the principal estrogens is estradiol. So they are endocrine gland such that of the besides producing the sperms and ova. Why it is not a complete endocrine gland? The due reason is they are the one accessory it is treated. Means besides the hormone release, they have a primarily other function, that is none other than the sperms and ova production. And besides that, hormones are released. We discussed in the earlier itself, main endocrine glands and other. Certain main endocrine glands we have discussed. That is pituitary, pineal, thyroid, parathyroid, adrenal gland and thymus glands. These are exclusively endocrine in function. Whereas if we see the pancreas, whereas if we see the gonads and also gastrointestinal tract hormones, kidney, liver are all what accessory, which means they have primarily other functions besides that they secrete the hormones. So the same thing is applied to the gonads. These are what's said to be the cytogenic, since they produce the cells called the male gamete sperm and female gamete ova. They produce the androgens by testis and estrogens by ovary. First of all, we'll discuss the ovary. Ovary is a pair of the ovaries, oval shaped, are present in the abdominal cavity and are connected in between. They are located in between the oviduct as well as the uterus. They are what connected to the uterus by means of ligaments. Ovary, female reproductive organ located in the abdominal cavity, particularly in the pelvic cavity, between the oviduct as well as the uterus. Ovary secreting the ova. Besides that, the list of the hormones that it secretes are what name it to be the estrogen. That includes estrogens. Next, it is progesterone, and the relaxin are the hormones secreted from ovary. So, ovary is endocrine in this respect. First of all, estrogen. Estrogen is a female reproductive hormone. The principal estrogen is the estradiol, which play a vital role in estrogens are secreted from the ovarian follicles or Graafian follicles. If we go to the details of this, in the ovary, there are many number of the projections, name it to be the follicles. That is, ova is with the two regions, cortex and medulla, where the different developing staged follicles are present in the surface of the ovary, name it to be the follicles. These follicles are primordial follicle, primary follicle, secondary follicle, tertiary follicle, Graafian follicles. What do you mean by this? That is, generally during after the puberty, right at the oogenesis in the embryonic stages, the follicles are formed. And different staged ova, primary oocyte, secondary oocyte. Primary oocyte is the stage of the ova which is at the meiosis 1 prophase stage. Secondary oocyte, the stage of the ova which completed meiosis 1 and entered into the meiosis 2, arrested the metaphase. So generally the growing follicles include the granulosa cells and theca interna, the Graafian follicles, ovarian follicle cells, they are said to be the ovarian follicle cells. Ovarian follicle cells, name it to be the granulosa cells, inner theca and granulosa cells. Inner theca and granulosa cells secretes estrogen. Estrogen is responsible for development of female characters and also development of the uterine epithelium. That is the function of the estrogen. Estrogens are the female reproductive hormones. Of this, the principal hormone is the estradiol. It is secreted from the ovarian follicle cells. That is, granulosa cells and inner theca secretes the estrogen. The hormone secreted from these ovarian follicle cells maintains the female characteristic feature, that is development of the uterus and feminine features. That is the description regarding the estrogens. Then progesterone. In order to learn the hormonal information description of the gonads, little information of the reproductive system also need to be learned. That is, here the point to explain is, once the mature follicle is formed, the secondary oocytic staged ova, the follicle that is with the mature oocyte, secondary oocytic staged ova, name it to be the mature follicle or Graafian follicle. Once the follicle mature, the secondary oocytic stage ova liberated out of the Graafian follicle and released into the body cavity. Such process of liberation of secondary oocytic staged ova at meiosis 2 of metaphase name it to be the ovulation. Mammals are characterized by menstrual cycle which takes place at every 28 to 30 days of a time period, where the menstrual cycle include menstrual phase, follicular phase, next the increasing luteal phase and ovulatory phase. The case with the menstrual cycle, we do find the 4 phases, in which the middle stage of ovulatory phase where secondary oocytic staged ova liberated, which is named to be the ovulation, which is the characteristic feature of the female human beings. After the Graafian follicle rupture, the secondary oocytic staged ova liberated, the follicle cells transformed to form a yellow color temporary endocrine structure named to be the corpus luteum. Corpus luteum. The Graafian follicles once formed, the follicle cells of the mature follicle, the follicles of the ovary are transformed to form corpus luteum. This corpus luteum secretes the progesterone. So, they are part of the ovary itself. That's the reason why progesterone is said to be the ovarian hormone. However, corpus luteum is a temporary endocrine gland, but it is a part of the ovary itself. That's what we treated. So progesterone secreted from corpus luteum. Corpus luteum is a modified ovarian follicular cells after the ovulation. The Graafian follicles modifies to form corpus luteum, and that's how the corpus luteum what secretes the progesterone. Progesterone is the hormone responsible for maintaining the pregnancy. It maintains pregnancy. It is responsible for maintaining the pregnancy. That is, this is the hormone released from progesterone, and it maintains the pregnancy by avoiding the uterine contractions. That's how pregnancy is what continued. That is the role played by the progesterone, maintaining the pregnancy after the fertilization, and it is also responsible for the sustaining of the uterus and also growth of the mammary glands. Relaxin hormone lubricate or else softens the ligaments. Generally, this is the hormone released during the parturition. That is, the uterine contractions are very stronger during the parturition. So, the ligaments present in the pubic symphysis region are relaxed by relaxin, so easy childbirth takes place. So, relaxin is a hormone secreted is softening, lubricating or relaxing the ligaments for the childbirth. That is the description regarding the estrogen, progesterone and relaxin of the ovary. Let's move on to the testis. Testis is also cytogenic. Why? It secretes the cells called sperms and also secretes the androgens. Androgens are testosterone. The testis is present inside the scrotum, that is outside the body. Among the mammals, we do discuss that the testis male reproductive organs are extra-abdominal, outside the body. That is, the scrotum provides 2 degrees Celsius less than the temperature when compared with that of the abdominal, that is inside the body. which is very, very essential for spermatogenesis. That is, low temperature is required for the spermatogenesis in comparison with that of the abdominal body. That's the reason just before the birth, the testes descend into the scrotum through inguinal canal and are reach into the scrotum. So they are present in the scrotum or scrotal sacs. Next, testis contains seminiferous tubules. In between the seminiferous tubules, we do discuss that these are all the seminiferous tubules. Seminiferous tubules, these are where which produces the sperms. These are all what's said to be the seminiferous tubules. Seminiferous tubules. Not to confuse with the uriniferous tubule. This is seminiferous tubule. Seminiferous tubule. Look at here. These are the seminiferous tubule. In between the seminiferous tubules, there present the endocrine cells, name it to be the Leydig cells or interstitial cells. Leydig cells or interstitial cells. Interstitial cells. Interstitial cells. These Leydig cells are interstitial cells. By the influence of luteinizing hormone stimulate the Leydig cells or interstitial cells to secrete testosterone and androgen. Testosterone and androgen. And this testosterone is a male reproductive hormone, maintains the secondary sexual characters. Testosterone is secreted from the Leydig cells or interstitial cells that are present between they are the endocrine cells between the seminiferous tubules of the testis. And functions of the testosterone. Testosterone maintains the secondary sexual organs, growth and development. Now the question is, what is primary sex organs, what are secondary sex organs? The sex organs that produce the germ cells, gametes called the sperms and ova are primary sex organs, whereas the organs that assist the reproductive process, name it to be the secondary sexual organ. For suppose adding the secretions to the sperms or activating the sperms here, and the structure that helps in copulation are what secondary sexual organs. Here the testosterone stimulating the secondary sexual organs, nothing but they include the seminal vesicles. Seminal vesicles. Next, seminal vesicles and the prostate glands. Next, the penis and etc. are what's to be the accessory. Here the seminal vesicle add bulk of the fluid to the semen. Prostate gland activate the sperms. Penis helps in copulation. So this is how they assist in reproduction. That's what they are, the secondary sexual organs which are grow and developed by testosterone. That is the first function. Second function is testosterone is responsible for male secondary sexual characters. That is nothing but the characters which is not related to that of the sex, but by which we can distinguish male from female, female from male. That's what secondary sexual characters. Right? So that is none other than mosaic formation, beard formation and low pitch voice are what the functions of the secondary sexual characters of the testosterone regulation are under control. These are what secondary sexual character by which the male and female are distinguished from external feature. Apart from that, testosterone also play a role in the bones and muscle. That's the reason why broadening of the chest and muscular growth is heavier in a male when compared with the female. This is how we do discuss the functions of the testosterone. And the disorders related to this include the hypogonadism. Hypogonadism is female hypogonadism and male hypogonadism. That is the case with the females. The estrogen levels are decreased, so feminine characters are reduced. Whereas in the case of male hypogonadism, sperm formation decreased, testosterone level decreases, secondary sexual characters of the male and female are reduced. And there is one point to remember here, eunuchoidism. Eunuchoidism is related to that of the males where the testosterone levels decreases or deficient. Results in the testosterone responsible for spermatogenesis, it is responsible for male secondary sexual character. So that is what reduces. That is a male eunuch is with the low secondary sexual characters. Sperm formation is low. That is the detail regarding the gonads and their disorders. Thank you.